So it's week 7. You're a few days away from a week-long break. Um, let's talk about now that we've gotten the career document packet in and submitted. We're going to move to the white paper project for the second part of the semester, which will transcend right into the proposal. So I want these to be on a connected idea so that one can kind of inspire you to move to the next step of it. And I'll try to loosely explain the direction of that and point out some of the things that are going to be a little off in these handouts that I have for the white paper that I've posted for this week. One thing that is really important to understand, if you go to the resource Researching a New Genre, the white paper, you can see that kind of common perception about a white paper is that it's vague, that you'll see a lot of different types of documents that people will say are a white paper. So I'm going to give you some specifics on the type of white paper that I want you to write so that, again, it will transition right into a proposal in later this semester. So like I said, you're going to see some different examples, but I want you to be aware of it. I do want you to go through the reading that I've posted for this week. One of the things that I put up here is the white paper guide from Owl Purdue. And again, I tried to tailor it a little bit. I've taken a few slides out of it just so that it's specific to the way that we're going to look at it in this course. But like I said, I'm hoping that because we're going to spend the last part of the semester working on these two projects that'll work together, that the white paper becomes, just as this slide indicates, a background report. So you're going to choose a particular company or an educational institution. You are going to come up with an issue, and you're going to give some background on that. You're going to use sources to develop a discussion that's analytical. So again, it's a topic or problem that you're looking to address. Some examples would be, as the white paper handout will show you, emerging technologies. It could be a particular policy that needs to be revisited or adjusted. It could be a change in training, but there's a lot of different things. What I want you to really think about is either where you've worked and some issues that have come up, or perhaps if you have not had extensive work experience, just an issue that you encounter here in an academic setting. So again, you're going to want to give that background. And that's what that white paper is going to do. Now, when we move into the formal proposal towards that last 3 weeks of the semester, you're going to come up with a viable solution. You can indicate in your conclusion some recommendations, but those are going to be expanded and exemplified as you connect the background of this issue into the proposed solution, which will become your proposal. You want to think of a specific audience and how you can reach them. You obviously are going to, in this first part, look at 2 journal articles, so 2 scholarly research articles. I'm only asking you to have 3 or 4 sources. If you have more, that's fine. The primary research component we're going to save for the proposal. Definitely, you want to be objective and truthful. You want to think about, you know, providing accurate information, non-biased, credible sources, but you also want to include an understanding that there will be obviously multiple perspectives when looking at this kind of an issue in the workplace. So an awareness of those opposing viewpoints, just like many of you did in Writing 1060. So I'm going to let you go through the rest of this, but I want you to understand, like I said, that to the best of my ability, I tailored it so that it would fit with the our particular kind of extended project, but keep that in mind going forward. Your white paper organization, again, this is produced by Owl Purdue, but what I want you to understand is that solution portion we are going to leave for later. I do want an introduction. I want that background, that discussion, that analysis based on what you can find about this issue in existing research, and then a conclusion in your references page. So Works Cited obviously is tailored to MLA. So again, you can see that these documents are malleable that I'm posting for you. Probably more important is getting to exactly what I want you to do. Definitely, we're going to need to choose an audience, and you're going to think about what some previous students have considered as a particular audience. So, for example, writing a white paper to investigate loss prevention strategies, it would be management that you're trying to address, or looking at increasing diversity at someplace like a mid-sized university like Oakland University. Your target audience is going to be diversity officers. So you're going to want to think about that as you start to form the draft of this. But we are going to take this in small steps. You're going to start with your plan. You're going to get your sources and do an annotated bibliography. You're going to move into forming that executive summary, moving further into developing those ideas into an introduction, the discussion, analysis, and conclusion, and then we're going to finally put that all together in draft form, and then submit it as a final copy. So definitely, obviously it's important that you're looking at this as a long-term project lasting for the rest of the semester. I have included a sample white paper on lean education. I actually think I included it twice, so I'll make sure that I delete the second one. But what I want you to note about this particular example is that it just gives you the background and analysis. It doesn't make significant recommendations or provide solutions to this issue. It gives you an overview of how lean in the business sector is not quite the same as it would be in the educational sector, but how we can move towards lean initiatives by looking at what the business model and what's happening in nonprofit organizations can offer to education. So to extend this particular white paper into a proposal, this particular writer would then look at a particular institution and use that background to form recommendations that are in viable solution format in order to target it towards one specific institution and specific steps that they can take to make their institution, their educational institution, lean, according to the definition of lean. And then finally, the document that I want you to look at, obviously, is what's going to be pertinent for our class. You're going to do a plan, this weekend, and then you're going to although sorry, it's going to be due on Thursday. So correction to that. So that'll be due Thursday. And then finally, you can see that we've got over a month before the white paper is due. This gives you an idea of, what a white paper generally does. This gives you some ideas of particular topics that you might address, and more specifically what those look like. But ultimately, you're producing a 4 to 5 page paper that includes a title page in APA format, a synopsis or abstract, which we call an executive summary, and then your introduction, discussion, analysis, and conclusion. In that conclusion, like I said, you can include recommendations, but that's going to be formalized more when we get to the proposal. And then finally, a references page. So in essence, you're getting that background. You're doing maybe what you did in 1060 in one of your projects where you constructed a literature review. You're kind of getting the background of what current research has to say about this issue and what other places have adopted in regards to the research that they've conducted by turning an inward eye and understanding that problem more specifically. Definitely, if you have questions, let me know, but we will be moving through this project slowly over the course of the last part of the semester.